Gibby on the hot seat. We've done Dana, we've done Spav. Now it's time to do the man from Van. Me, Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt, joined by Jeremy J. and Phoenix. We are the Raspy Voice Kids. This is the Hail West Virginia podcast. And this is just the last segment of that podcast, but it's the most important subject of the week. Jeremy, how hot is Gibby's seat?
If the question is how hot is this seat, I'll say it's a little warm. Nah, I mean, nothing crazy. It's a little warm. You can't have a season like you did last year. Like I said, they played hard, but it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. And real is real. There's some tough defense. I don't want to say tough defense, but we just didn't get it done on defense last year in a big way. And it's very obvious to everyone. So I'll say a little warm. Now, if you're asking point blank, is he on the hot seat? The answer is no. If you're asking me how warm is the seat's warm. I don't think it's blazing hot, but you can't have a year that like you did last year, which I do believe is an exception, not the rule, because usually what Gibby puts on the field is a great product. These guys work hard. Last year, for whatever reason, they didn't come together. This year, I fully expect them to regroup. But it is what it is. So I say the seat is warm right now, a little bit.
The biggest thing that kills me is that people's complaining about Tony Gibson is almost always about the 3-3-5.
Always. Absolutely always.
Is the 3-3-5 the issue?
No.
Like Gibby said, very often they bring a man down. There are 4 men down. Very often they're essentially running a 3-4 defense, which a large portion of the NFL runs. It is not the defensive scheme. You know how I know? Because in 2010, when Jeff Castile ran that 3-3-5, we had the number 4 defense in the nation. So what starts to happen, though, is we've acquitted the 3-3-5 because we know it can work. It was the number 4 defense in the nation. But then you start to question, then, is it Tony Gibson's fault? And here's why I will tell you, no. You have to remember where we were defensively before Tony Gibson got to us. So Jeff Castile had a great year in 2010, but then we were stuck with Joe DeForest for how long? The answer is too long, okay? Too long. And he put our defense in a bind. He put our personnel in a bind. And when Tony Gibson got back after that Orange Bowl, like he said, and he told those boys we were going to go back to playing the 3-3-5, they were ecstatic. They were excited because they knew how to play it and they knew it could be successful. And here's how we know. We'll go through the numbers. So when Tony Gibson, in his first season, 2014, WVU finishes 73rd overall in defense, 5th overall in the Big 12. So that's right in the middle of the Big 12, right?
Yeah.
However, they played the number 1 offense in Baylor. They played the number 2 offense in TCU. When I say number 1 and number 2, I don't mean in the Big 12. I mean in the nation. Number 1 in Baylor, number 2 in TCU. The offensive average, as far as the rankings, the average for the Big 12 was 56th. The overall was 56th. For that number 4 defense in the country, do you know what the overall average offense they faced in that Big East was?
I know it was low.
77. 21 spots lower.
Yeah.
Now, that's not hating on the 2010 defense. I'm not one of those dudes who's going to do the Big East, Big 12. I'm just out here spitting facts. Because that 2010 had J.T. Thomas. We had Bruce Irvin. We had Chris Neal. We had Keith Tandy. We had Najee Good. These are all NFL players. Guys I'm talking about.
Ball players, yep.
Ball players, dogs. They could play in any defensive scheme, any era of West Virginia football, and they would have been great. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying let's give some perspective. So if that team was playing the 77th average, 77th best offenses, and the best offense they faced all season was Cincinnati at 57. So it's not fair to compare what Castile did with the 3-3-5 to what Gibby's done with the 3-3-5. But, so 2014, he's 73rd. Right? Facing the 56th best offense on average. By 2015, guess how many spots he jumps, Jay?
How many spots?
29. He goes from the 73rd best defense to the 44th best defense. That's 29 spots in 1 year using the 3-3-5. We jump to the number 2 defense in the Big 12. All of that while the offensive average increased. We, on average, played the 43rd best offense in the country. That means on average, the offense got harder and our defense got better using the 3-3-5, right? And again, in that season, we played the number 1 Baylor offense and the number 2 Texas Tech offense in the nation.
And I think that's important because when you talk about the number 1 and number 2 offense, a lot of times you base your overall defense off of yards given up or points. When you're playing the number 1 and number 2 and you consistently play these top 10 offenses, you know what they do? They put up a lot of numbers.
Put up
Obviously,
numbers.
that's why they're number 1 and 2. They put up a lot of stats. They put up a lot of yards. They put up a lot of points, which all goes into the overall average.
That's right. And so we're 43rd in the nation, but we were number 2 in the Big 12. That's good defense. You have to remember the possessions makes a difference. Points. So anyway, but let's continue. 2016, right? Yet again, we played 2 of the top 5 offenses in the entire nation. And Gibby goes from 43 to what? 37. Not a regression, improvement. Better again. And the average for the offense we played is 44. So essentially the same as the year before, but we moved up 6 spots again. Top 40 defense in a pass-happy, stat-happy, offensive juggernaut Big 12. That's what Gibby did. The problem is we get to 2017. Essentially, we play the same offenses because on average, the Big 12 offenses ranked, on average, 47th in the nation. That's what we played anyway, an average of 47th in the nation. But we did play number 3, Oklahoma, number 4, Oklahoma State, okay? We had to play those guys. Yeah. And we played Oklahoma on the road. And our defense was not good at all. We finished 91st. But you have to look at the pattern. Is this, you said an exception, I'm going to call it an anomaly. If the trend is going from 73 to 44 to 37, then we jump back up to 91, it's an anomaly. Gibby has shown his defenses get better every year. He gets better every year. He tweaks that 3-3-5. When he's got the guys, they go and they ball. Those dogs hunt. Like they said, feel a froggy, take that leap, right, Jay? These dogs is going to eat. And that's what Gibby has done. Last year was an anomaly. Last year we had depth issues, we had injury issues, and I'm not sitting here making excuses. I'm just telling you, his seat is not hot. It has no business even being close to being hot. Gibby himself said he should be fired after the Oklahoma game because he was not happy with the results. So we have every right to not be happy with the results. We have every right to think we should be better than 91st in defense. We do not have the right to look at the man from Van and say he should be fired. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
to me, it's absurd. And I just gave you the stats to back it up. He gets better every year until he has an anomaly last year. It's not going to stay that way. You think for 1 second our defense is going to be the same? So you give me the transfers, you give me the injuries, and he's going to be better this year. I can guarantee it. And if I was a gambling man, I'd put some money on it. But I'm not, so don't even try to get at me with it. I'm not coming with it.
No, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. You know, we love the man from Van. I got full faith in him. And in my opinion, he's not on the hot seat, and he's not in a hot seat, like, you know, for me personally. But I will say, like we said about Gibby and we said about Holgerson, Coach Holgerson, this year he's not in the hot seat. But if things transpire like they did last year, the next year the seat could be really hot.
Yes. If we're 91st in defense again, I think Tony Gibson would tell you himself, you know, this is not where West Virginia football needs to be. This is not the direction we need to go. There's going to be some big obstacles to overcome. People think the Big 12 is going to be down. I don't personally believe that. I don't think the offenses are going anywhere. But I think the man from Van is comfortable where he is. Now, like we said, if you've been listening, we have full faith in the man from Van, but we're not homers. We keep it real. And that's what I did. So I dropped numbers on you. Thank you, RC. Shout out to RC for the statistical compilation.
Right.
But that's it. So if you disagree, let us know. Because a lot of y'all hate the 3-3-5, but y'all ain't got numbers to back it up.
And the one thing I will say, too, is I know people are going to keep looking and listening to me thinking, well, nobody's on Jeremy's hot seat. Oh, you mentioned all 3 of these coaches. None of them are on the hot seat. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I do think if we have a down year this year, they all will be in that same sauna in the hottest of rooms.
Yes.
But right now, I don't think they are. And I got faith that we're going to have a good year, so we don't have to worry about it.
The issue is expectations, and it's a mixed bag. It really is right now. But like you said, we cannot afford a down year this year. There's too much hype. And guess what? I'm on the train. Choo-choo. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm with it. Every week that goes by, every day that goes by, we get closer on that countdown. I start just feeling that. I get that kneeling feeling every time. And y'all too. I see y'all on social media. Y'all getting it too.
I try to reserve myself. I just can't, man. This
you're going to be there, Jay. Every year you're going to be there.
No, but see, this is the reason why when things go bad, sometimes I can not be as mature as I should be. Because it's just so hard. So look, I'm with it. Look, and there's not gonna be a letdown because we're going 12-0 this year. Like it's gonna happen.
Not 15-0.
Yeah, I'm at 15. I'm at 15-0. Excuse me. I'm on the old school. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm ready to see what they can give us, and I can't wait to see Gibby's defense.
All right. So, let us know. Is Gibby on the hot seat? That's how the Raspy Boys kids feel. We want to know how you feel. If you want to know everything about our show, this was just a video. We have an entire podcast. You caught the last segment. We talked about beef versus chicken, sandwiches, ramen noodles, tacos, burritos, beef or chicken. Which one do you choose? We talked about whether or not you prefer the 88 season or the 93 season, and we even threw in a surprise season. So check out the Raspy Boys Kids on the Hail West Virginia podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you for watching the Hail West Virginia podcast with the Raspy Boys Kids. We want to thank Shrinkables for their partnership and their support. We want to thank Sandwich U, the king of the fat sandwich, located on 461 High Street in Morgantown. We also would like to thank Swill Dog, the makers of the finest hard cider in all of the world. And once again, as always, we thank Astorg Auto of Charleston for being who they are to us, but also to the great state of West Virginia. Thank you.